I am Christine from Moonshine Safari and
Anthony from Moonshine Safari.
woo, we are chapter 11 for the Outlander books, and this will be covering again the books. Just a quick reminder, we have spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, you shouldn't listen, but you do want to be spoiled, so you should listen. We've also been separating out the episodes, figuring out which episodes are covered by what chapter. So when we get to the next episode, I will let you know, but right now we're chapter 11, Outlander. So just to remind you, the last chapter was the gathering and the oath taking. Jamie didn't take the oath, but he kind of pledged his loyalty in a different way and everybody was good. Dougal, at the very end of the chapter, Dougal lets Jamie and Claire know that he's going to be going out to conduct some business for the clan and he's taking them with him. Jamie is supposed to go in order to evaluate horses, which Claire finds odd because there's plenty of people that can do that. However, whatever. Claire's going to go as a healer. He said he's going to take her back to potentially make contact with the English and she can potentially get back to her people. So she's actually really excited because she was trying to get away anyway. Next thing we've got to remember is Frank who? Frank who? Who is Frank? You don't remember who Frank is. So anyway, they get out on the road. Claire is feeling a little bit sad. She thinks she's never going to see the castle again. Ha ha, that's what she thinks. She's in the middle of the group and she's riding with Ned Gowan. We find out that Ned has been the scribe that she's mentioned in the book before, who always seems to be taking records of the business that's transacted by the clan, and now he is traveling with them to help them conduct the business. And she really likes him. He's an older man. He was an attorney, solicitor, whatever they like to call him, in Edinburgh, and decided he was up for some adventure and decided to go looking for a clan to ally himself with, and he did so with Colum's father before he was even layered. So it's a pretty funny story, actually. So he's not clan by blood, but he was getting robbed by Jacob Mackenzie when he was looking for a clan to join, ended up staying with clan. And he does make a mention that Jamie looks like his grandfather Jacob, so that would be Colum and Dougal's father. He also helped when Jacob died in order to install Colum as the laird. And because Colum had already been sick for a while and his legs were bowed and he had the disease that no one really understood yet, it was clear that he could not physically lead the clan, but he was a good brain for the clan. And Colum was the elected leader, and kind of Ned, you get the idea that Ned helped decide that Dougal would be the war chieftain. So he would be essentially Colum's body. He would lead them into war if they had to and all that stuff. And Colum would be the brain of the act. Also, it's made mention that Dougal did not handle himself well during the courtship and eventual marriage of Jamie's mother. And there's a whole story that goes to that we haven't gotten to yet. So, also Ned makes it clear that Colum and Dougal stood together in the request to make Colum the head of the clan and Dougal as the war chieftain. He offers to help Claire, and she knows what he's up to. She knows he's just trying to get her to confide in him. And she said, I don't have any secrets. I'm just an English woman. We know she does have secrets, but they're not the kind of secrets that she can share with Ned. So he tells her his function on the road, what it is. He's the recorder. He's going to be taking care of all the money and stuff. But he also says that he's armed, and he believes that she should be too. He knows that they have not yet armed her, and he thinks that's a little bit short-sighted of them, and he's going to talk. She's always being watched. She's sleeping outdoors a lot. She starts seeing the routine. They come into village. They set up shop. Ned sets out his recording stuff, his quill, all that stuff, and starts taking in money. Sometimes they take in livestock, but they try to trade that in for cash. That's just the easiest way for them to do it if they can.
Imagine it like it's very much like the mobsters would come to the different businesses and collect the taxes for them. It's very similar to what they do. They don't do it in like a twist your arm necessarily kind of thing or hurt you. And well, in the show, Ned makes some personal decisions when people have fallen into hard times to kind of let them skate a little bit to help them. So he's there to help the clan too, but he's kind of like their what is Robert Duvall's?
He's the concierge. How do they say that?
Concierge or whatever. Yeah, kind of like that. In The Godfather, something like that.
Yeah, and Ned seems to be a nice guy. Yeah. But also, it's important to note that Colum, the clan, owns these lands. These are tenants.
Oh, they do. That's true. These are renters or, indentured on the lands. But
they do still try to work with them and make it to where they can function. Because obviously, these people still have to eat even after the rent is paid.
Well, it's just like having a small town. They're the mayors. They do own the land. But, you still need people to work the land and do things.
And pay you, or otherwise it's not doing you any good. Yeah. Right. Also, in the show, it's funny because she mouths off the show Claire. mouths off about a goat that they're taking as part of the rents. And she says she's not going to let them. The baby needs the goat. She doesn't do that in the books. She doesn't really try to get noticed a lot. She treats people for their minor injuries or whatever, but she doesn't mouth off in
the show. It shows her stick her nose in a lot of places that don't belong to show her
because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Right, she misunderstandings of how it works during that time.
It's not her time. But she can't possibly.
In the book, it is different. It's a bit different.
She's a little bit more chill.
A little bit.
So she also makes a mention that it's been about a month since she came through the stone. So that's how long she's been there. So by the way, Frank who? She does wonder kind of to herself.
Never see the castle again. Oh, who's Frank?
Who's Frank? She does wonder aloud why Jamie is there. She also notices that when the town is big enough, Dougal sort of holds court at an inn or somewhere that they have. And he's speaking in Gaelic. So she's not really understanding all of it, but she's starting to get the idea. And at a dramatic point, he rips Jamie's shirt open and reveals his scars on his back. And then he starts collecting money. So in the show, there's another kind of difference. In the show, she kind of accuses them of just having two sets of books, one for Dougal, one for Colum. That's not really what's happening. They are collecting for the Jacobites. In the books, she kind of figures that out and she knows it. Yes. But she, But
they are definitely using Jamie's physical condition caused by...
Because it's shocking.
Right. Caused by the English to raise funds
for
the Jacobites to fight against them.
And his grandstanding for this is very similar in the show. It's kind of a cool way that they show it. That's kind of how she does it. She does tell Dougal that she knows what he's up to. He thinks he might have caught her being a spy because he goes, well, I thought you couldn't speak Gaelic. And she goes, well, no, but I understand the name of King George and that's not who you're giving your allegiance to. It's like, duh, I can understand some things. And so Dougal is still on the lookout for her to be a spy. That's what's happening. She decides to sleep outside, and sometimes when she's just pondering to herself, she is always thinking about the stones. Why does it work? How does it work? How do people get along? What if they went forward? She has all these thoughts about it. And she overhears an argument between Dougal and Jamie where Jamie is wondering how Colum would feel about Dougal raising money for the Jacobites. And Jamie tells Dougal he doesn't have to help him and he doesn't have to show his back like that. And Dougal says, oh yeah, you said you were going to obey us when you're on our clan lands and you're here. So, Clara kind of overhears all of it and Jamie knows she's there. Jamie's usually pretty observant about who's around and who's not. And so she tells him, I used to know this guy and, well, I don't think she tells him this part, but she tells him he should hit something. Maybe it'll make him feel better because she can see that he's really frustrated.
That's the weirdest thing.
It is a little bit bizarre. I will say that.
If you hit something, you'll feel better.
You'll feel better. But he does. He hits a tree and I guess he does kind of feel a little bit better. And she notices that he's left-handed. Poor tree. Who's Frank? She notices that he's left-handed and he says that his teacher used to make him right-handed and gives him a headache to do it. And he can fight with both. And she says, well, how did you learn to fight? And do you fight left-handed? And he goes, I can fight with both. Really, you should fight with your right when you're fighting with a sword. But he says the best left-handed person ever taught him to fight. And that was Dougal. So clearly it's not all angst between him and Dougal. It's kind of almost a love-hate relationship. And Dougal is, in my opinion, definitely threatened by Jamie and how strong Jamie is and all that stuff. So more of the routine day after day. And then one day someone makes a comment about Jamie allowing himself to be used by the English that way and be flogged that way, which is crazy because who would actually allow that? And Jamie gets into a big fight and no one's really helping him. They're kind of making sure nobody else jumps on him or anything, but no one's really helping him, but he handles himself just fine. He's a little bit beat up, but he's a little bit more happy now because he got some of his aggression out. Murtaugh actually gives him his share of the bets and he goes, well, I didn't bet anything. He's like, yeah, but you were the one doing the work to win, so I guess we're going to share with you. Jamie actually tells Claire a little bit about his dad and said his dad taught him that since he was a big guy and he was really noticeable, he was going to have to be the one that put this down. People were going to try him and they were going to try to fight with him and he was going to have to deal with them and he was going to have to deal with them quick. But the big thing the Murtaugh says is that they might have a line on someone that they think might be able to clear Jamie's name for the crime he's accused of, which is why he has a price on his head. If they can do all of that, he can go home and he can leave Colum and Dougal. So she's paying attention, she hears it, and that's kind of how that chapter ends. I want to encourage you to go to moonshinesafari.com. We have some cool Highlander merchandise. We also have some other stuff that's really fun. So take a look at it. It's kind of our little homage to not only Outlander, but just other stuff in our lives. It's moonshinesafari.com, and I think you'll find some of the merchandise. We have some cool shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page and our Instagram page and our YouTube where you should be listening, and join and share and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. That really helps out. It really does.
And if we're missing anything, tell us what we're missing.
Yeah, engage.
You think we're missing it? Did I miss anything? All right. Well, next time will be chapter 12, and I'll be figuring out which episodes will be in all the chapters put together, and we'll figure all that out. But I hope you guys are having fun. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.